is first layered with dried coconut husks and firewood, and a fire is then started. I have here nature's matchstick. This is a branch from the wild hibiscus tree, and this is what was used in traditional times to make fire. Taking a smaller piece of wood from the same tree, the two pieces of wood were then rubbed together until eventually smoke would rise and hot ashes would fall. To demonstrate to you how this was done, I'm going to hand you over to one of our modern day warriors, or actually the warrior himself, James. In traditional times, when this fire making process was being performed, they would chant, and in their chant they would call to their ancestral fire, Maui.
Maui, 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 te punonga te ai. Maui, Maui, kare kato ai.
Anybody got a lighter here?
Give him a clap. In traditional times for a professional warrior, this fire-making process would normally only take to heat well. Right, once the rocks are heated, the trunk of the banana tree and the spine of the coconut frond is then taken, stripped into pieces, and spread out across the hot rocks. Now the purpose of doing this is to prevent the food from burning by placing the food down into the umu on top of these strips. Before the food is placed into the umu, it is first wrapped in our banana leaves, what we call our roe maker. The leaf is first singed or placed across hot rocks. This is to make it more pliable, easier to wrap the food in, at the same time killing any bugs or insects that may be along the spine. The spine of the banana leaf is then stripped off. This is what is used to tie the bundles of food together. So I have here our Cook Islands aluminium foil, cheap, handy and always available. And for you greenies, biodegradable. Right, once the food has been wrapped up in our banana leaves and placed down into the umu, it is then covered up with leaves. And there are three types of leaves that are ideal for covering up the food. Firstly, the leaf from the breadfruit tree, what we call our ro kuru. Second and again, our banana leaf, ro maker. And finally, the leaf from the wild hibiscus tree. When plaited together like so is called our polwa. This is also used to cover up the food. Once the food has been covered thoroughly with these leaves, sand or soil then goes down on top. That's to keep the heat inside, and the umu is then left to cook. For a family-sized umu, it would only take about 2 to 3 hours for the food to cook. For larger umus, 4 to 6 hours. In the olden days, while they would wait for the food to cook, the men would all go out and collect the drinking coconuts, while the women would just sit around and gossip. Does that sound right, men? What the women were actually doing was plaiting plates made from coconut leaves. So these were their plates, what we call our roro. They were also making baskets, what we call our kete. There is an order of placing food in the umu. Pork goes down first, followed by chickens and vegetables. Seafood always goes down last because it cooks the fastest. Just to show you a couple of the vegetables that we cook in the umu. This is our taro, a hard grey vegetable, a tuber plant similar to potatoes that is peeled and boiled or cooked in the umu. The leaf of the taro plant, which looks very similar to the leaves you can see at the front here, is also edible. The leaf is chopped up, boiled in water, strained off and then boiled again in coconut cream. We get a green spinach-like dish which we call our ruko. Have any of you tried it while you've been here? How did you like it? Okay, for those of you who haven't tasted it yet, you'll all be having it at lunchtime today. You'll also be trying a couple of slices of our taro. This here is the arrowroot, what we call our manyota. Similar to the taro, it is peeled and boiled or cooked in the umu. We get our starch from this plant. We call it pia. You might just know it as arrowroot. It is that white powder that is used for cooking in food. There's a little bit of our pia. Now this is taken, boiled up with either overripe bananas or overripe pawpaw. It is then baked in the oven or placed down into the umu to cook. Once cooked, it is taken, dipped into coconut cream. We end up with a jelly-like pudding, which we call our poke. It's either an orangey colour or a rusty brown colour. Any of you tried that one being on the island?
Yes.
What colour did you have?
Brown.
How did you like it?
Oh, pretty filling.
It's usually the texture that puts everyone off on trying it. As I said, it's a jelly-like pudding. The rusty brown purpley is the banana poke. The orangey coloured is the pawpaw poke. It's very sweet. It's like a dessert, but it's served along with your main meal. So for those of you who haven't tasted it yet but are planning to go to an island night at one of our hotels, keep an eye out for that dish and don't be afraid to try it. It is very nice, our poke. Right, our green bananas are also edible. You just boil them up, and when the skin splits away from them, this indicates the bananas are cooked and ready to be eaten. Grown at the bottom of the green bunch is the embryo. In traditional times, our ancestors would eat this during periods of famine. They would soak it in seawater overnight, chop it up and then eat it. You'll find it's not eaten at all today, although I have heard of someone who's tried it by soaking it first in vinegar. He apparently found it very nice. Our lemons and limes are used a lot for flavouring food, and in traditional times our seawater was also used for flavouring food. Our ancestors would make a sauce from coconut cream and seawater. They would mix the two together, and as they ate their food, they would dip it into the sauce to give it a bit more flavour. Particularly the food that had come from the umu, because sometimes it tended to be a little bit dry. You'll be eating out of these at lunchtime today. Their tei or sauce was served in the coconut shells. Their drinks were the young coconuts, what we call nu. You'll find the younger coconuts are a lot nicer to drink because they're a lot sweeter. Their knives and forks were their fingers, and that's what you'll also be trying at lunchtime today. Saves us from having to do the dishes afterwards. In the olden days, because the umu took so long to prepare, there was normally only one main meal a day. That was normally at midday. Any leftover food was placed back down into the umu, covered up with the leaves and eaten again later, or hung in the kete or baskets around the ari umu. Today, because of the limited power supply on the outer islands, you will find that an umu is used or prepared more often on the outer islands than it is here on Rarotonga.
The sharpening and the polishing. This was done by a special type of coral from off the reef, this one over here. It is like a sandpaper. And also, water is constantly added during the rubbing and polishing process. And after that, you need to have what we call is the handle. This is the handle. You know, the white men, they got nails and super glue for joining. Our ancestors, they got the sinners. It is a fiber from the husk of the coconut. Very tough. But I'm scared if I pull it, I just pull it easy, take it easy. Well, the sinnet, it is one of, the sinnet is very important in our culture. We use it to make our houses, canoes, fish hooks, weapons, and ceremonial and religious carvings. For the handle, this is an example, this is a smaller ants here. Make sure you have a hollow on the top of your handle so that you can place the ants right inside there. And then when you tie the sinnet on the ants here, make sure you tie it at the right ankle. Make sure it's really tight, really hold the ants here. If it loose, while you are carving, if it's loose, it might come back on your head, and you get a big lump on your head. Our ancestors, has anybody here been playing a violins? You play violins? Anybody else? Where you guys from? Well, for the violins, Some people, when I ask who've been playing violins, they always put their hand up, especially the ladies or the young girls. And then they say, you know the bow for the violins? They say it's the horse's tails. That's what our ancestors used for the string. They use horse's tails. I don't know. That's what I heard. They use it for their strings. Because before they don't have any string like this. They got a string, but it's too big. It's for their fishing or for trolling or whatever. But they got no small ones like this. That's why they use the horse's tails. Well, for the ukulele, if you want to buy a ukulele, it is better for you to go into our local prison. I know it sounds funny. It's better for you to go to our local prison. If you want to see our local prison, just follow the inland road. Follow right down there. It's just around the corner there. You won't miss. It's a big building, big white building. The name on the building of our local prison is called Hotel California. So it's really cheap over there. For this ukulele in prison, in our local prison, it's cost $30 each. If you go to small shops or in town or in market, it's $45, $50 or $60 each. They are not the good ones. In prison, they got the cheap one and they got the good ones too. Well, this one in our local prison is about $150 or $180. If you go to small shops or in town or in market, around about $400 to $500. That's why I say local prison is much cheaper than the small shops. And also our local prison they got the good ones. Some people say they got a good quality. So if you want to buy one for you, you just go.
looking, good built, strong, beautiful tan. I guess you're all looking at him. Thank you. He had his party on, a little bit coconut oil, sunglasses, and a Walkman. So we had here a modern day warrior whistling away. Next minute, he saw this beautiful princess lying on the beach. Now, because our song is saying, oh, 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 hey, Temane, woman, Mane. Mane means beautiful, but in this sense, hey, there's a princess there. No, oh, no, oh, no, no means sitting down or lying down. Oh, excuse me. So far, the song is talking about this young warrior. He was on his walk along the beach. See this beautiful princess lying or sitting on the beach. When the eyes met, when they first saw each other, it was love at first sight. The princess, she couldn't help it by saying, she couldn't help it by saying, or she was saying, hey there, look at me, ain't I the most beautiful thing that you ever seen? And of course the young warrior turned around and said, Mate, mate, wow, hey, can anybody guess what that is? Anybody? Have a guess? Mate, mate, wow, hey,
Won my heart.
sorry?
Won my heart.
Won my heart, yes. Yes, not what I'm looking for. Anybody else? Anybody? Yes? Play them around from the beginning. Two, ah! One more. Thank you. no mai kai te peo o te man. Sawa no mai kai te peo o te matangi. Ia tuke, tene o te man. Hoki mai, hoki mai. Hoki mai.
pungite